Hi, I'm Emily Miller, and I'm here to do a little video for the Lake County Fiber Arts Guild. We're having our first skill share today. We're making little balls out of alpaca fiber that our friend Galina at Kanakta Shaman has brought to us. I have some alpaca wool here that's from Lake County animals. And maybe in the background, you can actually see the alpaca shawl that Galina has made that's really beautiful. And I know this was a group effort, not her alone, but very, very lovely. And I've got some other options of alpaca wool here to kind of look at. And this is some roving. I also have a scale, which is really helpful if you want to have your balls come all the same size. And I have some warm water, just slightly warmer than tap, and a little bit of soap. I just use any kind of liquid soap is fine. But I weighed out on the scale 2 grams of alpaca wool. And this is roving, so it has been carded, but it's just sort of loosely gathered into a cloud of material. And I'm going to hold it over the bowl, sprinkle some water on it. And I've kind of gathered this into a loose ball. It's nothing terribly exacting on this one. And I'm going to give a couple little dribbles of soap. And then the really hard work begins. I'm going to gather this with my hands lightly, and we've been talking about what this feels like, and we kind of decided it's a little bit like making a snowball. And you're kind of gathering it lightly, and then I'm going to gently begin rolling it between my hands. My hands are not really putting very much pressure down onto this yarn, this wool. I'm doing it just very lightly, and a little bit of weight from the water helps gather this together, but we're felting. We're wet felting, pulling the fibers together, tangling them together to become a solid ball. And this takes just a few minutes. Don't need to be over the bowl the whole time because now it's not drippy anymore. And if you feel like you're getting wrinkles, stop and kind of adjust those wrinkles out a little bit so that they're not there anymore. Just fluff that yarn. So now just rotating it in my hands, very light pressure. You can see that it's developed some soap suds. That's normal and as desired. And as I begin to form more of a sphere, I can start to put more pressure on it. So bringing my hands closer together, my fingertips and palms are kind of rotating over one another, and I'm putting a little more pressure together on my hands. And that ball's getting a little smaller, drawing together. Does it matter if you go left, right, left? Not at all. You can even switch in the middle if you feel like it. But we decided to work on these projects because this shawl that we've developed needed some more embellishment. And so some choice might be to use felted balls as part of the decoration. We could also make these into beads pretty easily, or we could string a few together for a nice keychain. It would be kind of attractive looking and soft in your pocket, wouldn't feel uncomfortable. Be quiet too, help your keys not rattle around quite so much. So with that little bit of added pressure, my sphere is getting tighter all the time. Now what can happen if you rush this process a little bit is that you end up with a little bit of a fold or a wrinkle. And if that happens, just stop and kind of open that wrinkle up again and start over. Lighten up your touch just a little bit and start bringing that ball together again. Now I can speed up my hands a little bit and add a little bit more pressure, and it'll start to really pull that ball into a felted sphere. A little orb. See how it's getting smaller? And it's nice and smooth on the outside? I might have to keep that one. It came out really good. So a little more pressure now, and you'll feel that it's resisting you a little bit. And this is interesting because I think maybe this is the first time I've talked it through quite just slowly. But if you feel it pushing back against my hands just a little bit, it's maybe the sign that I can go a little firmer. Little found object dirt won't hurt anything. And now more pressure and more in the palms. Oh, I've never dropped one multiple times. More in the palms of my hands. And my hands are a little bit closer together, and I'm putting more pressure on it. I know this is going up to our YouTube shortly, but if you have questions, please feel free to post them, and I'll keep an eye on that video, and I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as I see the question and get an answer for you.
This is our Facebook page.
Oh, yes, and you can ask your question on our Facebook page as well. That's the Lake County Fiber Arts Guild. We're a new group. We're just getting off the ground here, and it's been an experience. We're all learning to juggle a lot of things all at once and get our voices heard. And so now, look at that. My little felted ball has really changed a bunch. Remember how big that was? It was like the size of my snowball, big in my hands. And now I can put a bunch more pressure on it. So I can roll this together as hard as I really can. And it's really just in the palms of my hands, not using my fingertips this point. Really firmly. And really compress that ball down. You know, I don't know how many of these I've made over the years, but a few. And it goes very smoothly after you do a couple.
And we're entering the show into the Lake County Fire.
Oh yeah, our shawl will be visible at the fair, the Lake County Fair. It'll also be entered at Lambtown in one of the Lambtown events, which is kind of a good thing. Lambtown's over in Davis, and it's a very fun festival, very international, and lots of folks there. So there we go. There's a little felted ball. If I want to turn this into a bead, I can let it dry, and I can use an awl or another large darning needle to just pierce it through. And that hole will stay open long enough for me to string it on with a needle and thread. And there's a little felted ball for you. Quick little tutorial. Lake County Fiber Arts Guild. Visit the website, the Facebook or the website, and join us one of these days. Thanks a lot.